Welcome back.
Here you go. Don't try to start talking. Don't try to start talking fast.
Big Mike, welcome back, man.
Yeah,
it's good to have you in the building.
Yeah. I know y'all struggled. You know, he had Pete up here
First
by
of all,
himself.
we had a great conversation without you.
Nothing's great without me. I want you to know that. Understand that. Understand that. All right.
We had a great conversation without you. So which is me and the people. But
Yeah.
no, for real talk, man. I missed you out here, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's good to have you back.
I had to take care of some business.
Yeah.
You know, had some family stuff I had to take care of. But I'm proud of you, man. You got up here.
First of
You
all,
centered yourself on the background.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I noticed that. You I'm proud of you, man.
First of all, you ain't my daddy. Ain't no proud of you. You're my damn daddy.
I'm proud of you, man. I'll pat you on the back when the camera go off.
But nah, man, everything good? You good to have you back?
Yeah. Hey, I just want to say, man, my son, man, he graduated basic training to go to the commission in the Army.
Yeah.
So I'm super. That's why I was at. He was graduating.
Big ups to him.
Yeah. So we went out there and celebrated him, man. So he started law school Monday. You know, like we talked about before. So super proud of that dude, man. Shout out to him. I know he probably watching the show. So I had to take some time off.
Yeah, I heard a lot about law school, man. So hopefully he fall on the one side, not the other.
I'm
I
sure.
I heard they get in the poker a lot for whatever reason.
I don't know. Whatever side of law school you would be on, he on the other side.
Okay, I wouldn't be in law school. They would accept me in no law school.
Hey, but anyway, we back. You already know what it is, man. Unpopular celebrities. I've been anxious for this show to kick off. We've been trying to schedule this one for probably about 2 months now.
Feels like
longer.
longer.
Know, but when you're dealing with superstars, that's what happens. You know,
Yeah.
you got to talk to their publisher and all that. You know, you got to get with their staff.
Their lawyer.
Yeah. So, you know, but finally we got these two superstars on the same schedule, man, and we got them up here. I'm gonna tell you how, you know, they in the middle of a vacation. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Well,
And look, see?
last day. So we back home now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, they was in the middle of vacation. They did all that, you know, they got that out the way, you know, and now they joining us. So, you know, I'm just going to say appreciate it for y'all taking out the time and coming and join us. And I don't want to spoil too much of it, man, but go ahead and tell the people who you are.
Let you go first.
All right. So my name is Ashley, and
I'm Chris.
All right.
As you may know, we are both mill to mill. We actually met back in Kadena. So background about me, I was stationed in Korea. That was my first station, and then Kadena after that. And that's where we actually met and got to know each other.
Tell them where you from. Where you from?
Originally, though, I'm from Virginia, Northern Virginia. And a lot of people like that are from the area. If you know Manassas, like Fairfax, that's where I grew up.
Okay.
And I grew up with just my mom. She's an immigrant from Colombia. So just me and her really, and me and her kind of dedication is what really motivated me to join the Air Force. And I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted to make something out of myself. I didn't want to be a statistic. So here I am. And, you know, 5 years later, I'm married with a kid and a dog, and we're living in San Diego. So I really am blessed living our best life. Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you as an Air Force. What about you, good sir?
That's Sergeant Booker, Philly, you know, born
Philly.
Absolutely. You already know what it is. Born and raised. Went to Providence College up in Rhode Island, got my business management degree out there.
Mm-hmm.
Halfway through my time there, I figured I didn't want to sit behind a desk, so I joined the military. My aunt, she's a military, she's in the Army.
Okay.
So she was a big influence on my life growing up, as well as my parents and my brother and my sister as well. But that's what kind of drove me into the military, kind of seeing her lifestyle, how she was doing things. And so I decided to make that jump into the Air Force. I'm happy with that decision. But first base was Kirtland Air Force Base. My second base was Osan, like she was saying, and then Kadena, which was a super amazing time. Back to Osan, and then now we are here in Miramar, San Diego, working the Joint Command out here at the Navy Brig. So
rewind me back to you're getting out of tech school, you get your assignment to Osan. It's like, oh shit, I got to go overseas. What's that mindset like? What does that do for an 18-year-old? Got to go overseas for their first shit?
So I remember my one of the tech school instructors, he told me about my assignment. He said, Osan. I said, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's in South Korea. I'm like, South Korea? I didn't even know we had a base out there. And I told my mom about it. My mom's like, wait a minute, North Korea is right there. And like nervous for me. I'm like, no, ma, it's not like that. Like, it's okay. Like, you know, it's peacetime. And so
Peace
I have to really kind
out.
of convince myself that everything is
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
Right, right.
But it was an exciting journey, honestly. And then I got to travel out there. I even learned a little bit of Korean. So it ain't much though, but I learned out there, like there'll be memories for a lifetime. So that's why I'm so fortunate to say that I was there. And then, like I said, we did know of each other, but we weren't really like friends.
Yeah.
Like we had like mutual friends, if anything.
Yeah.
So it lined up perfectly.
Yeah. So Chief asked about examples of good supervisors, good and bad. What you got? Anybody?
Okay.
You ain't gotta put no names out there.
No, no, no.
Yeah, we can protect.
Do
Yeah.
that. I think a good supervisor is someone who genuinely cares. The mission is the mission and it's going to get done. However, kind of tapping in not too much into the personal life, but understanding how to reach your airmen. As far as approach that I like to do is, you know, you do those initial feedbacks and things like that. I get to know what they like to do.
Yeah.
Have those kind of conversations to kind of build that trust. I might not be into Star Wars, but I can Google something real quick and talk about it, you know, to drive that conversation home and say, hey, I need you to, you know, make sure you get on your PT test, and that can kind of come full circle.
Right.
Just being there, being someone who they can lean on. You may not have a supervisor all the time that you can go to. It kind of goes into that mentorship mentality as well. You got to be flexible in the way that you maybe you can can curse this airman out and they'll get it, but then you can't do that same approach to someone else because they may, you know, be timid or, you know, they may trigger some other things that they've experienced in the past. So I just think you gotta, is our job, that's what we get paid to do, is to try to do the best that we can to reach
Take care of people.
take care of our people. That's what it comes down to. So I mean, and then a bad supervisor would just be the contrary to that, you know, not really being there, you know, hearing high and by kind of thing, not really, you know, you ain't got to stay late all the time, but, you know, just tapping in with your airmen, making sure everyone's good to go. Anybody who doesn't really do that is not really doing their job. So from that aspect, I would say that's kind of poor leadership.
Yeah. I always hear with mill to mill couples, man, it's always an internal competition. It's always oh, you a tech shot? Oh, I'm coming for you. You know what I mean?
So look, you about to start domestic
Yeah,
live on popular celebrities.
Yeah, we it's about to be loving hip hop, the unpopular celebrity version.
So
What about that? What y'all think about that?
you got it.
Well, a quick example about that was my PT test. I just did my PT test and passed with flying colors. And then the next thing they say to him is like, oh, you got competition now. Like,
I gotta
Right, yeah.
gotta get 100
you know?
on mine. You know? But I think it's something that we don't really talk about much, but it's kind of like you said, is that inner, you know, I gotta do good, you know.
Yeah.
Just because you want to, and you is motivation. So I give you an example. I went to ALS 3 years ago or something like that. And I'm not going to
Clean house. You clean house. Go ahead and say it, man.
Trying to be humble.
Hey, don't be humble. Don't be
Spit facts, man.
you clean house. Go ahead.
Commandant and DG.
Yeah.
Which was dope, and that was like my first ever like big award. Fast forward earlier this year, she won the Levito, so it was like that kind of like that one up, but you know, I'm still I'm happy with what I did, but you know, she had to get that little one up, like, hey, I got you too. So it's one of those things that we definitely strive for each other, to try to make sure that we both on the and it's all genuine, you know what I mean? It's nothing forced. Is everything that we want it to be. So
and the great thing about it is that I get to learn through him in a way. So it's like it's weird, but I'm kind of like his true, because who's the first person I go to for like mentorship and advice? It's him. Like, how did you do so and so? Like, how did you apply for this? How did you do that? And so he guides me a lot through that process. And for ALS, like, I was extremely nervous. Like, I'm like more so of an ambivert. So I like people, but at the same time, like, I need my space. So he was teaching me and coaching me through certain things. And I felt that helped me a lot to engage with others, because all we want to do is connect, right? We want to feel like we can understand each other. So I think that's what really helped me out. And even till this day. And when I think of like what makes a good supervisor is, for one, somebody that cares,
Yeah.
and something that empowers others. Like, what can you do to empower someone to reach their full potential? If that means getting to know them better, if that means showing them like certain resources for education, for to get involved in the community, those are things that I would really appreciate when I was an airman.
Mhm.
So really like be a beacon of hope and a beacon of light to others.
Yeah. Or what was it? Greatest success or greatest experience?
I would say I'm gonna revert back to my time in Kadena. That was the greatest experience that I've had. That was the greatest leadership team that I've been a part of, and I'm not just saying that because they may be watching. That's just fact. That's just the honest truth. Colonel Opolowski, Chief Counsel, and our first shirt, Senior Hollis. That trifecta right there was probably the best example of leadership that I've seen. And then it just trickled down from there, from the senior NCOs all the way down to the airmen. We had a good 2 years out there, 2017 through 2019, I would say, was the time that happened. We were able to accomplish some things out there that was difficult at times. I worked training out there, so super busy. And then you was reports and analysis. So we had a lot going on from that aspect of being a part of the mission, and it did, like, work didn't feel like work.
Right.
To be honest, it didn't feel like the military. Colonel O, she established a great. I don't even know how to. It was like an aura. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just like one of those things that when you're in her presence or when you're under her command, you're going to do right.
Yeah.
And that's just something that's just going to happen. We didn't really have it a lot of. I mean, we didn't have a lot of hiccups and things like that, and it just felt like we wanted to do good for the command.